Nvidia earnings are out. This was a monster earnings report. I've never seen anything like this in 25 years investing. I've never seen an earnings report that was this anticipated. Everybody, all eyes were on Nvidia here after hours. The stock at one point was $512. Right now it's trading at $504, up 7%. So we're pushing $1.25 trillion market cap. Let's look at some of the numbers. Now, Nvidia is not the company that you grew up with. I had a conversation here recently on YouTube, and one of the subscribers was making the argument how he's followed Nvidia for the last 10 years, and he was talking about the gaming segment and really didn't understand how much Nvidia has changed over the last few years. This company has pivoted. It's much more focused on enterprise and it's much more focused on software. So Nvidia is not what you used to think of when you think of Nvidia. Creating not only AI hardware, but also AI software for secular growth trends like robotics, autonomous vehicles, artificial intelligence, and more. So non-GAAP EPS, $2.70, beat by 61 cents. Revenue, $13.51 billion. That's up 101% year over year, beat by 2.43 billion. These are monster numbers. Record data center revenue, $10.32 billion, up 141% from Q1, up 171% from a year ago. Nvidia is also going to pay a dividend of 4 cents a share on September 28th to shareholders September 7th. Gaming, second quarter revenue, $2.49 billion, up only 11% from the previous quarter, 22% from a year ago. Outlook, this is huge. Revenue is expected to be $16 billion plus or minus 2%. So $16 billion, the forecast was $12.61 billion. This is a huge beat on both top and bottom lines and raised guidance. The guidance suggests that sales will grow 170% on an annual basis in the quarter. Of course, this is driven by data center business, includes the A100 and the H100 AI chips. These are needed for AI applications, ChatGPT, supercomputers, and so on. Nvidia also said that its board of directors have authorized $25 billion in share buybacks. And that's definitely interesting considering the stock's over $500 a share now. A new computing era has begun. Companies worldwide are transitioning from general purpose to accelerated computing and generative AI. This is Jensen Huang, founder and CEO of Nvidia. Now, this is talking about Nvidia's stack. So you got your GPUs connected by Mellanox networking and switch technologies. And then that AI software, the AI as a service software, that software as a service that we talk about, it makes that stack for computing infrastructure of generative AI. During the last quarter, major cloud service providers announced massive Nvidia H100 AI infrastructure. Leading enterprise IT system and software providers announced partnerships to bring NVIDIA AI to every industry. The race is on to adopt generative AI. We've been talking about NVIDIA a lot on the channel. We knew there was going to be a beat, and we just didn't know exactly what it looked like. So the main thing is, how big are they going to beat, and what's the guidance going to be? And that goes back to the previous video I did a couple days ago. How do you value this stock? Now, it's going to be interesting over the next 24 hours. Analysts are going to come out with revised price targets and so on. During the second quarter of fiscal 2024, NVIDIA returned $3.3 billion to shareholders in the form of 7.5 million shares purchased. Now, these numbers are impressive. This goes back to FY 2023 Q2. These numbers are in millions. So you have 6,704 to 7,192, all the way up to 13,507. That's going to be up 80% quarter over quarter and 101% year over year. These numbers are strong across the board. Revenue, gross margin, net income, and so on. This net income here is up 843%. Diluted earnings per share up 854%. So some highlights: announced the NVIDIA Grace Hopper super chip for complex AI and HPC workloads. Tons of different products and announcements here. You guys can read through this. Pause your screen if you need to. Launched general availability of cloud instances based on NVIDIA H100 Tensor. Core GPUs with Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and other regional cloud service providers. Look at this partnership list. This is huge. We've talked about a lot of these. Snowflake on here, ServiceNow, Accenture, VMware, WPP, SoftBank, Hugging Face. Announced NVIDIA AI Workbench, an easy-to-use toolkit allowing developers to quickly create, test, and customize pre-trained generative AI models. Announced NVIDIA Avatar Cloud Engine, or ACE, for games, for the gaming part. A professional visualization, that's up 28% from the previous quarter. Automotive, surprisingly here, down 15% from the previous quarter. I feel like that's an area where there's a lot of total addressable market and opportunity for growth. This could be a sign for some of those automotive chip makers. You're seeing some of those names that have been hit recently, and this could be why. It definitely seems to be a slowdown slowdown in automotive. So right now, after hours, it is at $512.77. It's up 8.83%. I'm going to look at a chart here, show you where it could go here on the upside. Of course, this is positive news for the market. The market was just kind of hanging at a balance. Like, hey, if Nvidia has good earnings, the market wants to go higher. If Nvidia has bad earnings, we're going to have a sell-off. We did chart day this morning. We looked at a lot of these charts, and they were kind of just in this middle ground. You drew a circle of where it could go from top to bottom, and a lot of these charts, a lot of the stocks are just sitting kind of in the middle waiting for this data. Now, we also have data Friday from the Fed. Jackson Hole, we're going to hear from Jerome Powell some commentary. If that's hawkish, you could see, some market gyrations there too, so keep that in mind. If you want more about valuation, now you can go back and watch the video I did on Monday. What we really have to do is take the data from today and update a lot of these metrics. So all the metrics you're going to see, like PE ratios and everything, they're not really relevant. We're going to need to update this data. So before I go on and look at a chart, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, click that bell for notifications. If this is helpful, drop me a like and drop me a comment. I'm dropping this video right after earnings, before the earnings call, trying to get the information to you as soon as I can. This video is sponsored by The Motley Fool. If you'd like to see the 10 best stocks to buy now, visit fool.com/firedupwealth. You can also join our private community, Patreon, Discord. We're crushing it in there. Join us. Visit patreon.com/firedupwealth. Okay, the earnings call happened, so I'm editing this back into the video. I want to go through some highlights here. This is a quote. The world has something along the lines of about $1 trillion worth of data centers installed in the cloud, enterprise, and otherwise. This is Jensen Huang, CEO of Nvidia. And this was on the earnings call with analysts. That $1 trillion of data centers is in the process of transitioning into accelerated computing and generative AI. Some more positive news from that call. This is from the CFO talking about the Biden administration and those export restrictions on chips. Quote, given the strength of demand for our products worldwide, we do not anticipate that additional export restrictions on our data center GPUs, if adopted, would have an immediate material impact on our financial results. And look at this chart here, Nvidia quarterly revenue from 2019 to 2023. That aqua blue is bad news. Of course, that lighter blue, that baby blue, very good news. Look at that, 101% pop. And even before the earnings report, before this pop after hours, Nvidia's stock price has more than tripled this year. That's the top performer in the S&P 500. It jumped past 507 to $512 after hours. And this would mark a record close if it closes at these levels here on Thursday, tomorrow. Its closing price high before this was July 18th at $474.94. All right, I need to hear from you. Drop me a comment below. What do you think about this earnings, and where is Nvidia stock headed next? Where's the market headed next? Drop a comment. Let's get a conversation going. So anytime you see orange, that's a previous chart day. Yellow is going to be today's chart day. We just covered this one here recently, so you're going to see some yellow written up. This stock got all the way down here to $108 back in October of 2022, and it ripped all the way up close to $500. Here is 480 bucks, pulled back, and now you can see it up here, the blue line, 513. So literally just this morning, we said 521 R3 on the upside, downside if they missed. You saw some numbers here that could go all the way down to 345. That's a 200-day simple moving average. But with this beat, it's up here. You're going to see the R3 first around 521 bucks. And I could see the stock easily climbing up to 550 plus. Now, these analysts keep raising price targets. You're seeing 600, 700, 800, street highs $1,000. What are the analyst targets going to look like tomorrow? You're probably going to see several revisions and probably several price targets that are going to be upgraded to higher numbers and higher rates. Now, what do you do with this stock? I mean, hopefully you owned it before. We were really strong in this stock, pound the table 125 or less. If you don't own it now, you got to be really careful because this thing is hot. I mean, if you look at the numbers, the data we just showed, the beat and the raise, the guidance, it supports a higher valuation. The question is where? And I would just be really careful chasing it, but I won't be surprised if you see this stock, up at $600 by the end of the year. I've been long on Nvidia since 2018 in the 30s. I'm probably going to shave some shares as the stock goes higher. This is just a quick video, get you up to speed on Nvidia earnings. More information is going to come out. Definitely join me in Discord. Let's talk more about it. Drop me a like, drop me a comment. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.